Hola Marias! Welcome back to my channel. For today's video, I will be sharing with you another makeup tutorial. And yes, namiss ko pong mag-share ng tutorial. Medyo matagal-tagal na mula nung nag-makeup tutorial video ako. So ngayon, if you are interested to know how I did this Korean-inspired look, then please keep on watching. Alright, so let's begin with the skincare. Before you apply any makeup on your face, it is important to make sure that your skin is well prepped. So here, I am applying the Ryx Skincerity cleansing water and just using a cotton pad or a makeup wipe, and then just make sure to remove all left out residue of makeup or even left out dirt after washing. For the toner, I'm using Thayers Witch Hazel Toner in a rose petal variant, and I normally use it as an essence. So what I do is rub it in between the palms of my hand and just pat it all over my face like so. Now for lip care, I normally use either the Nivea one or the Mercier Satin Lips Lip Balm on my lips to make sure that any lip product that will be applied will glide on smoothly. Moving on to the brows, I love using FULLBROWS Browsoap. This is my favorite. What I normally do is just spray water or any hydrating mist or whatever mist you have, and then using a spoolie, just have it combed on to your hair. Make it gentle and gently comb it, and then make sure that your brows are in place and on fleek. Now I will be using Olay Wjite Radiance Light Perfecting Essence. That actually boosts the glow from within look on my face. And mind you, once you apply this on your face is really glowing. And here I'm also using my favorite Cathydol Ready to White White Boosting Cream, just a little bit to tone up the level of my facial skin tone and to add a little more of that glow. And to make sure that my skin is protected from the harmful rays of the sun, I'm using Eriol sunscreen. Just pat. Although we are done with the skincare, there's one more step that we need to do before applying the makeup, which is color correcting. So I'm just using the salmon or the pink shade from this Moshino cushion, and I'm just applying it under the eyes to correct the dark circles before applying makeup. Let us now proceed with the makeup. I am using Dior Backstage Face and Body Foundation as the base of this makeup look. Once applied, I normally use a buffing brush first to have it buffed or applied all over my face. Not actually all over, but just in the center part because that's where you only needed it. And then using a sponge, I will have it blended properly to make it look skin-like. To hide the blemishes or some of the acne spots, I normally use a concealer. Here, I'm just using the Maybelline Superstay Concealer and just do spot concealing. When you are not yet happy with the concealing, just keep on adding just on the areas that it needs it, and then use either your sponge or your fingertip to blend it. Going back to the brows, I normally use this Nichido tinted brow gel, which I'm actually not sure if it's already phased out, but I normally just apply it on top of the brow soap once it's actually dried, and then I just slightly color my eyebrow hairs with this tinted brow gel, and followed by my favorite Cathydol 4D brow tattoo. I will just fill in some sparse area on my brows. Now, if you made any mistakes or any boo-boo, just make sure to have a handy-dandy concealer on the side, and don't worry, you can just clean it up. Now for the cream products, I like using BLK Cosmetics Multipot, and for the blush on, I'm basically mixing all the 3 shades that I have here and just apply it at the back of my hand and then mix it. Once I'm happy with the shade, that's the time I will apply it on my cheeks. So, well, you have to be very careful. You have to apply slowly and gradually to achieve that natural looking flushed from within look. Now, using the same sponge you used with your foundation or your base, I am just going over the blush that I applied to make it seamless and blend well on my face. Now for the contour, I'm using the same Multipot from BLK, and I'm just applying it on the hollows of my cheeks. Since this is cream product, use a denser brush to apply it, and make sure to apply it slowly as you go because you don't want to look like you have muddy face. Now, if you remember, Koreans do not actually apply contour. That is why we are making sure that this contour will appear naturally on our face. And since I have a big round face, I'm applying it under the hollows of my cheeks. So basically including the tip of my ear, and then have it blended on my hairline as well, and then with no additional product, just glide it through your jawline to shade it a little and make it a little contoured without being obvious. And then to just make it appear well blended, I'm just reapplying a little more of the blush without additional product, just whatever is left from the brush. And then before we set everything in place, I am just using a powder puff and removing the excess oil or creasing underneath my eyes. And then using KVD Shade and Light contour and highlight powder, I am just applying ever so slightly powder underneath my eyes to just avoid further creasing, and including the center of my face where I normally get oily to make sure that it will be set properly. And using the same product for the rest of my face that are not actually oily, I'm just dusting powder all over my face. Alright, so we also have to set the contour in place. From the same palette, I'm just patting or tapping a little amount of contour just to make sure that it is well blended and set properly without being too harsh and obvious. Make sure to tap the excess from the brush before applying it on your face. And of course, we also have to set the blush in place. So I have here mixed Ryx Cosmetics blush and also from FS Cosmetics. And I'm just slightly setting the blush in place with very light-handed brush strokes. Moving on to the eyes, I'm using the same contour powder from Kat Von D and applying it as a transition shade or all-over shade and making sure to blend it properly. Now to give it a pop of color, I'm using the same shade from the blush duo that we used earlier and just put it on top of the contour shade that we used. And now for the rest of the eye makeup, I'm using Vice Cosmetics BT21 collaboration and picking these two colors, the dark brown or the dark chocolate and also the black shade on the upper lash line of my eyes. And then I am just smudging it to appear like a smoky eyeliner. Moving on with the Caroline Play to Slay palette, I'm just using this coral or orangey shade eyeshadow here, and then I will be applying it on top of the smudged black and brown eyeshadow that we applied on top of my lash line. To blend everything in place, I'm just using the same brush that we used for the all over and transition shade that is from the contour palette, and then just going to have the same colors also of coral shade underneath the lash line, on the bottom lash line I mean. So the Koreans do not actually use the black eyeliner most of the time except the idols. So here I am just using a brown eyeliner and doing the tight lining. And yes, I look funny or perhaps scary, but that's how I apply it. And then for the eyeliner, I'm using the Chawil Sleek eyeliner pen. And I normally apply it first with my eyes open because I have hooded eyes. And then once I already mapped out the guidelines, I will then close my eyes and then just connect the dots and make sure that it is very, very thin because I don't want it to be not seen when my eyes are open. Now make sure to curl your lashes before applying mascara. And for mascara, I am using this Maybelline Sensational mascara, which is the waterproof formula, and I'm also using a separate spoolie to apply it on my lashes. That's what normally Koreans do because they don't actually over apply their mascara. They want to make it look as natural as possible. Now for eyes highlighting, I normally use this Teviant Glow to Glass or Glass to Glow palette, and the bottom one is the one that I use on the inner tear duct of my eyes. Not the actual tear duct, but the one close to the nose line. You know what I mean? The muta highlight that they say. And then I will be applying also on half of the lower lash line as well as all over the lid for that pop of shimmer. Now for the very not so obvious nose contour, I love using Benefit Hula Light Bronzer, and then just make sure that you are blending it well on your nose line to make that appear natural as possible. Just go through the sides of your nose to make it appear thinner, and then make sure to connect it on the tip of your eyebrows, just like how I'm doing here. And now it's time to remove the lip balm on our lips and apply this Vice Cosmetics cheek and lip tint that I love, which is the Chimmy, of course. Jimin. And then let's go ahead and apply the lipstick to make it more gradient looking. I have here the MAC Cosmetics collaboration with Maine Mendoza, and just dab a little on the inner part of the lips. Now to make it look more gradient, just close your lips and just make sure to cover the edges of your lips using the sponge with a little bit of the foundation that we used earlier. See, that looks gradient now. Now we have to set everything in place. Just retouch a little because we're almost done. So the blush from Ryx Cosmetics and FS, as well as the highlighting powder and contour from Kat Von D, and then just powder it up. And since you don't normally see Koreans with the shimmering, glimmering highlight, I love using this Laura Mercier Candle Glow powder to serve as a highlight to apply some shimmer on the face without being too obvious. So I'm just applying it where you normally, which is the highest points of your cheeks, which is that cheekbone, and a little bit on top of the blush because it's a finishing powder. It's not gonna be that much obvious. On the center of my face, and also on the cupid's bow, on the chin, temples of the forehead, and on top of the nose. And finally, Mario Badescu Rose Water Spray for setting everything in place and also for added glow. Now you can just let it dry like what I'm doing, which is fanning it out, or get a sponge and dab it in for that flawless looking makeup. And here is our final look. There you have it, guys, our Korean inspired natural looking glowy makeup. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you do, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, like, and share this video to those who actually wanted to try this makeup look. And if you recreate it, don't forget to tag me on all social media platforms. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you on my next video. Goodbye!